So far in this course, we've discussed entropy at the macroscopic level. So we talked about entropy and calculated entropy using things that we could touch, feel, or see, like temperature, volume, or pressure. At this macroscopic level, the way that we've discussed entropy was in the context of the second law of thermodynamics. And essentially, we've used the second law of thermodynamics as a sort of kind of rule that the universe follows, right? And essentially, in our entropy balances, we've used the second law of thermodynamics as a constraint, such that, if a process were to proceed irreversibly or reversibly, in the entropy balance, we know that the amount of entropy generated by the process has to be greater than or equal to 0. If we end up with a negative SGen value, that would tell us that that process is physically impossible, right? And so that's what I mean by we've been using the second law of thermodynamics as a constraint. But at the same time, we've also kind of used the second law of thermodynamics to just kind of get an idea of how entropy is related to things like pressure, volume, and temperature. And we've seen so far that entropy increases if we increase the temperature or volume of our system while keeping everything else constant. And conversely, we saw that the entropy of a system, not the entropy of the universe, but the entropy of the system decreases if we increase the pressure of the system. Okay? And so this is what we've observed in our analysis. But why do we observe this? Now, physically, what does it mean for entropy to increase if we increase temperature or volume? And physically, what does it mean for entropy to decrease if we increase pressure? Why does entropy do these things? Okay? So at this point, we haven't really kind of explored or developed a physical intuition of entropy. All right? And so for the remaining part of the course, it's a bit critical to do that. And to build this physical intuition about entropy, we can't do it at the macroscopic level. Rather, to build this intuition, we need to do it at the microscopic level. And we need to start thinking about how individual molecules behave and act. And so in this mini chapter, what we're going to do is we're going to re-explore the concept of entropy, but in terms of molecules. And what we're going to do and what we're leading to is we're going to redefine entropy. And what we're going to do is we're going to redefine entropy as just the number of ways that molecules can arrange themselves in a system. Arrange themselves inside a system.